Happiness through curiosity on the Ranveer Show. Let's talk about the positive aspects of wearing a genuine Rudraksha.
Yeah.
What are the positive aspects? Like, how does it actually change? I know we can't get into the details of Upasana here, but just on a surface level, how do you explain how a Rudraksha changes one's life?
So, we've been dealing with Rudraksha since more than 3 generations. And the only thing that we do as a family is Rudraksha and transformation with Rudraksha, right? And the transformation that I have seen, it cannot be described with words. That's how powerful a Rudraksha is. How it works is Rudraksha is, like I said, a bead manifested by Shiva for the healing of mankind. Each of the faces of the Rudraksha will carry a certain energy. For example, a 14-mukhi Rudraksha will be of Shani, Mahashan Rudraksha, it's known as Saturn, right? So if a person's Saturn is weak and they wear the 14-mukhi Rudraksha, the debilitation can change into an exaltation. It will increase the power of the planet and hence show positive impact to the person as well. Secondly, the Rudraksha works in fourfold. Any kind of transformation happens in fourfold. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. You go through this cycle, right? So the first impact that a Rudraksha causes is a behavioral impact, which is more of Dharma. The person will be more wary of their actions. They will be more, in line with their spiritual self and start making decisions that meet the criteria for one to be able to wear Rudraksha. That's the dharmic aspect. Second, arthik, like I said, bhukti, mukti, both are provided by Rudraksha. So we have seen wearing Rudraksha is directly, impacting the material fulfillment as well. And that is also a spiritual side, because without material fulfillment, there cannot be renunciation. And without renunciation, you cannot, achieve the last aspect, which is mukti. So after the dharmic aspects, after the arthic aspect, which is the wealth, there is kama. Kama is relaxation, enjoyment, and the satisfaction of the self. After which mukti comes in, which is the end of the cycle and a new cycle begins. Okay. So that is how through these 4 stages, which is known as Purushartha in Sanskrit, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha are the 4 Purusharthas. This transformation happens along this way.
On the surface, this sounds like a conversation about Rudrakshas, but it's actually a conversation about Shiva.
It is a conversation about
For
Shiva.
those hearing us, they'll think it's a conversation about Rudrakshas. For those listening, they know exactly what this conversation is about.
Yes.
I want to ask you about the people who bought that 70 lakh Rudraksha. Who was it?
So I cannot
No,
disclose.
I mean, I don't want the name.
Yeah.
I'm talking about who the being was.
So see, when we talk about the expensive Rudrakshas, the reason they're expensive is because the procurement cost of those beads are also high.
Why?
So because there is a huge number of competitors that are trying to get the same Rudraksha. There's a huge number of buyers trying to get the same Rudraksha. So it's a basic science of economy, right? If there is more supply and more supply, less demand, the price is really less. If there is really less supply but high demand, the price is high, right? So people who are blessed and people who are able to manifest the Rudraksha into their life are going to be, are the ones who wear it, right? So you have to be destined in a way to wear it. I've seen people from all walks of life. I've seen doctors wear Rudraksha, these kind of Rudrakshas. I've seen business tycoons wear these kind of Rudrakshas, industrialists. Most of them, if you're looking at them in a close way, are using the power of Rudrakshas, right? So people from all walks of life, actors, podcasters have worn Rudrakshas in the past who are really doing well with Rudrakshas and its energy. So, but you need to be able to, find the right Rudraksha for you. That's very important.
Yeah. You want to talk a little bit about the practice?
Sure.
Like, the only practice that I have done truly with the Rudraksha is japa.
Yeah.
And I keep it on me. Like, the personal perspective is when you actually begin to work with malas, and I'm hesitating to talk about this because I'm not sure how much I can talk about what I do. I don't do anything crazy, but I'm just very disciplined about my mala. I don't let it touch any surface. I always keep it on a cloth. I keep it close to me as much as I can, being very open and vulnerable here. I travel with it. Because that's my Anushthan I've taken with my deity. I've promised a certain number of malas every single day.
Yeah.
There have been moments in the recent past where maybe I've been anxious about something or I've not been in the best state of mind and I've meditated while wearing the mala. I don't know how right that is or how wrong that is. I just intuitively felt I needed to do so, and it could totally be placebo for me, but I felt like it gave me a lot of strength. These things usually are not placebo in my experience. There's some kind of logic behind things that your heart wishes to do. But when it comes to Nepali Rudrakshas, this is much bigger than the ones I have. How do you utilize these? Like, what is the kind of sadhana you do with this?
The Nepali Rudrakshas are primarily used for wearing.
Just wearing.
Just wearing and doing meditation as well, like you rightly pointed. If you go to, for example, Pashupatinath, the Pashupatinath temple in Nepal, what you'll see, the Mool Bhattas, those are the few chosen people who are able to touch the Shivalinga, because not everyone is allowed into the Garbhagriha, right? Are going to be wearing the Rudrakshas before they do the puja. So any kind of Vedic rites according to Shiva Purana and Devi Bhagavatam and all the scriptures requires, it's not a choice, it requires you to wear Rudraksha for you to be able to handle the energy. Secondly, for any kind of astrological use, strengthening of planet, or taking care of the malefic planet in your birth chart, Rudraksha is used there as well. Thirdly, for meditation, you wear the Rudraksha. I'm a believer that even if placebo effect is impacting you and making a positive impact to you, you should be able to repeat that effect more and more and more. If you're able to repeat the effect for the rest of your life, you did very well.
And it's probably not placebo.
Yeah. So and it's probably not placebo then. There are certain things in the world, Ranveer, that you can only experience and not describe. Rudraksha's impact and Rudraksha's energy is very that. You cannot describe it with words. Words are very insignificant and, incapable of describing the true nature of how one transforms with the use of Rudraksha.
I truly hope in my heart that people are able to understand the depth of the conversation that's happening right now. And I hope that people are able to read in between the lines of what you and me are speaking about. Now I'll move forward in this. How has it changed your life?
My journey of life began with wearing Rudraksha. So I have very vague memory of my being without a Rudraksha. But I truly believe that what I have been able to achieve, maybe less, maybe more, is because of the powers that I have seen with Rudraksha in all aspects of life, not material. I'm not talking about material. That's the most insignificant. The spiritual aspect of life, I'm 24 years old, like you pointed. The spiritual...
Your body is 24 years old.
My body is 24 years old, like you pointed. My soul is eternal. It's never... I don't know the time it was born because it cannot be told, right? And the spiritual awakening that I've met, that I've felt with wearing the Rudraksha is, beyond words. You're literally, the blessing that you get through Rudraksha is, I'm unable to describe it with words, like I said. Secondly, it's brought me closer to Shiva. I think about Shiva every single day because I'm wearing the Rudraksha. Through Rudraksha, I get closer to Shiva, which is the biggest gain for me that has happened in my life. I've never been, awake and not be thinking about Shiva because I'm wearing the Rudraksha. So it's brought me close to Shiva, and I think that's the single most important transformation that has happened to me.
If you enjoyed this clip from the Ranveer Show, we've uploaded a ton of other clips related to a ton of other topics. So explore the channel because there's something for everyone.